That's right, turn that shit up, man.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
And so the Bears are sending their compensatory fourth-round pick to Jacksonville for Nick Foles.
Keeping it 100.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100. Keeping it 100. Keeping it 100, baby.
Open competition.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Chicago Bears select Cole Kmet.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now they're mouthed up like the true and now and laters. Debaters, claws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. We're down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth you see, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Hard crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we're keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby. Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yo, we're on the wrong side.
Jackal fucking up Ray from Jump Street.
Guy's got a kid, and now all of a sudden, you know, he's got a lot of excuses. Shayne.
Yeah, he's wearing a Kellen Mond jersey, this fucking guy in the background. What's wrong with him?
He's putting the mojo on it, as you were trying to tell me.
Yeah, the bad juju. We don't need any of that.
I'm just cutting up some Kellen Mond tape, preparing for the naggy, the
Shame.
negativity.
Shame, Facebook user.
Listen,
Shame.
I gotta protect these Facebook users from you because sometimes the app itself makes people have to go back.
Well, that's called being prepared.
Our producer,
Philip.
He's so caught up in his texts, probably trying to help Greg Braggs. Oh, Cherie's on it. Cherie got that. Look at that.
That was me.
That was you.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're both sleeping.
Let's give her credit. It's draft week, Shayne, and you're already worrying. You're making everybody panic.
Yeah.
And like we said, we are going to be ready all week long. We're going to be live covering the draft like nobody else because we put the spotlight on the Chicago Bears. We're going to have so many guests, as you could see. Steven Johnson out of Shy City Sports getting the promos early. More early than I'm used to, Shayne. So the cat's out of the bag on Thursday. We could already say we're going to have, it's right, Diamond Scotch Draft Week. We're going to have a huge show, draft night, Let's just get that out of the way. Adam Rank, David Kaplan, Steve Edwards. Who else is on? Zach Pearson of Bear Report. I don't know what his hair is going to look like. There it is. All those guys. Cars. Look at Cars. Look at Cars. He's already doubting Pace's pick right there with that.
It looks like he smelled something on my shoulder. He's not happy with it, I guess.
It's either you or Zach Pearson wrote another.
It's probably the product in Pearson's hair. Probably sending off. We know it's not Cap's hair
It's
product.
definitely not Cap's. So, yeah, this week, who are we going to get? Obviously, everybody has an opinion. It's crazy out there. I got trolls attacking me, changing narratives like they do. We got people talking up players and then avoiding the tape that I broke down like it doesn't exist, Shayne. Like,
actually, we got to put up. We have
Mac
to make
Jones is terrible. I don't know. He's the next Josh Rosen. Oh.
We got to change it. Can we change our overlay here? Because this Twitter is not.
Oh my God!
Active anymore, Phil.
Steven's got to change that. You look so pretty in this.
I know.
I don't. Oh, that one's wrong.
That one's wrong.
Oh, BHL.
No, that doesn't work for me.
That one. What about that one? This one?
I don't know. We can go back to the other one, but yeah, if anybody is on Twitter, if you look on the screen right now below me, it says @Shayne Marsaw. That is my new Twitter that is active and not suspended. So
there you go.
We're gonna try to keep it that way. So give me a follow on Twitter. I'm always active there. I like to chop it up. The @Wazram has been retired. Yeah.
How do you do this? There you go.
Yeah,
right
you gotta go Oppo.
There. Oh my God.
Yeah, see that right there? See
there
that?
You go. There you go.
Just the tip, Angelo.
Angelo. Just the tip. Just the tip of the iceberg tonight. We are going to have Notre Dame tight end Brock Wright joining us tonight. Again, every night this week we will be live breaking down the draft. Tonight we got Brock Wright, former tight end of Notre Dame, in the draft. We're going to talk about his journey, his football journey, high school all the way through. There's a lot of context to his story that we want to get into, preparing you for the NFL draft. It's always not about first round picks. A lot of times, a lot of fantasy football stuff gets, meshed into it.
Oh yeah.
So then all of a sudden it only becomes about the first round, but true draft heads, draftniks understand, since I think I've missed 1 year of watching the draft live on television. I watched it on my phone.
You better have been in the hospital.
No, I remember you were giving me the picks.
You had like a wedding or something, right?
It was a baby shower out in Jersey. My boy Tito Torres. So I was watching the draft via the phone, and you were giving me updated picks. That was the onty time. I've never watched every pick. I've always done it.
Tito dropped the ball. I mean, even Jackal's wife wasn't due for another 2 weeks, but he paid the doctor off to make it happen before draft night. So
it was only the Saturday. I watched everything else. So
yeah, the last one I missed was on a Saturday. I was traveling home from Outer Banks. That was the EA Booney Who the fuck is this guy? Text to Phil.
Booney.
Yeah.
I honestly have been working nonstop around the clock to get us ready for Wednesday night and tomorrow night, Shayne.
We will be here, yeah.
Tomorrow night, let me just tell you this. Tomorrow night, before our guest comes, this is what's going to go down tomorrow night. You guys like UFC fighting? You like boxing? If you're a big boxing fan, we got a fight card on the panel tomorrow night, a fight card. You remember Rocky IV? Well, right now it's going to be Rocky IV redone. Tuesday night draft fight. Your boy, Rocky, draft Dr. Phil Atosha versus Ivan Drago, the smartest man there. Shayne Marsaw, the Tape Never Lies Network presents a heavyweight draft face-off tomorrow night. We are going to face off in the ring. This is what's going to be happening. Are you going to be Team Phil or Team Shayne? We are going to draft all 22 positions based on our choices in the draft. Now, Shayne might steal my choice, but we only get one.
I know one guy I'm taking that Brock Wright tight end out of Notre Dame. I'll tell you
that. Well, I'll tell you this. As we go through this, just to explain this real quick, Shayne will draft whoever, Quiddy Pay, right? So that's his one edge defender. He can have two edge defenders. He can't take more than one.
Yeah, you can't go in and draft. You're not drafting two quarter. You're drafting one quarterback, and that's it.
So you gotta. There's some strategy involved in this. You fans are going to be interactive. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's draft fight night, something we've never done. Something creative, live, interactive, and then after that, we're going to be crossing over with Shy City Sports, talking more about this draft, which I think is going to be outrageous tomorrow, Thursday night. So real quick though, all right, we got our guest here, and I cannot wait to introduce this guy. But you guys know we always introduce our guests in the Tape Never Lies way. Brock Wright, tight end, Notre Dame.
This guy was a 5-star member of the Prep Star Top 300 Dream Team, ranked as the number 57 player in the class of 2017 and the number 2 tight end. From there, he was on to South Bend to suit up for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, also known as Tight End U, for the tight ends they continue to churn out. As Bears fans and TTNL fans know all too well, sometimes you just need a chance. And this guy epitomizes that. Hopefully this weekend is a step in the right direction. TTNL, get out your seats and give it up for the former Bobcat of Cypress, Texas. He's Brock Wright.
There he is, Brock Wright.
What's going on, Brock?
Mr.
Thanks
Hollywood.
for having me on.
Yeah, we're excited to have you, man.
Thanks. I logged on and I just heard Fight Night, and I thought maybe you two were going to put the gloves on before I heard the description
tomorrow. You better tune in. It's going to be.
Yeah, we've been friends for 20 plus years. That's happened quite often. So yeah,
I bet.
Nothing different.
There's an extreme reach and height advantage he has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
don't know how long the bulldog.
You remember Vern Troyer? You know, he's a little Phil's a little bulldog though, so I got to give him that.
I would pay to see it. Pay to see
it. Well, it's gonna be fun tomorrow night, but tonight we were excited to have you on our show. Keeping it 100 throughout the week leading up to the draft. You've had a journey though, and let's kick it off there. Obviously, in the intro that I produced there, and Shayne wrote, you started off in high school in Texas. I want to start there. Everybody, I'm from Connecticut. Shayne is from upstate New York, and we're Bears fans. And people ask us how. Football is life for us both, and for me growing up all the way through. I've been around this game, but my father played at the Trinity of Texas back in the 50s. And he always tells me about Texas high school football. And then obviously Friday Night Lights came, then the TV show. Talk about that experience growing up as a kid. Is it what they hype it up to be as you lived it and experienced it?
Yeah, it was an incredible experience. I grew up with two older siblings that played sports. My dad's from West Texas. He's from Amarillo, so he grew up, playing against those teams that they made those movies about. And I mean, it was incredible. I went to a school of about 3,000 kids, which here, isn't really considered that big. It's big, but there's Allen with 6,000 kids, and
yeah.
I graduated with about 900. So everybody loves football and everybody. So I think I got lost in there for a second. But so you have it kind of, there's a lot of life revolves around it, and so growing up in that kind of environment was awesome for me because it's all I ever wanted to do. So some of the best memories of my life were playing high school football for Cy-Fair in the big Texas stadiums that we have. It was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, that's something. But Brock, looking at when you take that next step, I was looking at who was recruiting you, and it's a who's who of college football. And I'm an Alabama guy, and I know that they were on that list. And how is that when you're a high school player? And you really just have your pick of Alabama, LSU, Notre Dame, all of these teams. That's gotta really be humbling as a kid coming out of high school, that that you can really just say, yeah, I'm going here and make that happen. How do you, like, just looking back on those memories, what was that like going through that?
It was cool. It happened really fast for me too. So I started getting recruited after my freshman season. My older brother played at Rice here in Houston, and so they were the first team to come. And then after my sophomore year, things blew up. I had a good season, and then I had all the Texas schools come and look at me, and then it expanded. I had Alabama, all the SEC schools and things like that. So it happened really quick, and it was cool because playing tight end. Coming out of high school, not many schools really use tight ends the way that, luckily enough, my high school did. So I was able to get recruited pretty well, and basically anywhere that really wanted a tight end was looking at me. So it was neat. But I chose Notre Dame really early on in the process. Got the recruiting over with pretty quick because it kind of checked all the boxes for me. But it definitely was humbling, and it was really cool to to get experience that recruiting on that level. It was a neat deal that not many people, I guess, get to experience. And, so looking back on it, it was pretty neat.
Let me ask you this. You go to Notre Dame, and then obviously your teammate there at Notre Dame becomes a second-round pick for the Chicago Bears, Cole Kmet. Talk about him, his work ethic, his influence on you. What was he like as a teammate? Obviously, Chicago Bears fans are keen on our show, on our network. So talk about his, influence on you and your experience with him as a football player.
Yeah, for sure. Cole and I first met at the Irish Invasion, which is a camp that Notre Dame does in the summer. They invite all the recruits to, and you go out there and do all sorts of position work and things like that. And so we were probably right after our freshman year of high school when we first met. And then I early enrolled at Notre Dame. He came in that summer following my first spring. And right away, we, competed with each other off the bat, but also became best friends. Cole and I were really close, still are really close. I actually talked to him this morning. But in every single drill we did, every single type of conditioning, lifting, we're always competing with each other, trying to beat each other. So having someone like that with you all the time, it really helps you become a better player, and just kind of that competition kind of breeds excellence like that. And always learning from each other. So we were really happy to see him go to the Bears, kind of that hometown hero type deal for him. They had the parade in Arlington and everything. So, it was Bear down all the way. So yeah, we became Bears fans pretty quick whenever that happened.
How has he helped you up to this point, just with the overall process of everything that you're going through? And I can't imagine you're all calm, cool, and collected right now, but you're wondering, Thursday night's coming up here pretty quick, and then the entire 3-day process. But how has Cole helped you throughout this process? Have you guys talked quite a bit over that?
Oh yeah, ever since the end of the season, we've been in touch pretty consistently. He helped me throughout training, like what to work on, what to focus on, and then get ready for the pro day. And then since then, we've been in touch. His dad's also helped out a lot. His dad, Frank Kmet, was a Bear back in the day. Yeah, definitely, giving me advice on all that stuff. It's nice. He just went through the process. It's been nice to have someone that I can lean on, talk to.
Lost him versus.
Yeah, you froze up there. Are you back? Can you hear us now, Brock? We lost you there for a second.
You got me? Yep.
Okay. All right, we got you.
Where'd I leave off at?
You were just talking about Cole's dad, and
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying it's just nice to have a buddy who just went through it all, and I was able to lean on, and he's helped me from the start of the process and up to now, and it's just nice to have someone who's kind of got a little bit of insight to the next level, and help me have a foot up when I get there.
Now, obviously, the elephant in the room is your career at Notre Dame, the amount of catches and opportunities you had there. A lot of people are going to look at your stats because there's 1,000,001 stat scouts out here. Trust me, I've been fighting the blog boys for years in regards to football truths. But in all honesty, I've played college football and I see how politics plays into this. And I'm not saying it did or it didn't. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but obviously in the intro, it says tight end university. And there's a lot of talent at the tight end position. So was there something in regards to your opportunities there? Is there something that you want to get off your chest in regards to your career there? Because, I think your showcase of what you can do, being that highly regarded coming out of high school and then not getting the opportunity to showcase it all the time on the football field, obviously is going to raise eyebrows with some people. But obviously, you speak for yourself here. Talk about your career there.
Yeah, that's a question I've gotten a lot lately. Ever since right before pro day when we did media and things like that, and then in my meetings with coaches, it comes up, especially because at the pro day, people saw my athleticism, my ability to run routes and catch the ball and everything like that, and they see, this guy can do all that really naturally, and so so they were wondering why I didn't get that many opportunities, and honestly, I don't know why. I worked my butt off at Notre Dame, did everything I could to help the team. For some reason, the production just wasn't there in the receiving game. But still played a huge role in special teams and blocking. And, really that happening, I think, just gave me a chip on my shoulder. And now I'm just looking that much more forward to proving myself to the next level and being able to do that and be a complete tight end. So I would just say that and say that, I think I'm the kind of guy that can be a complete tight end and have a really good career in the NFL as one.
Well, you have a huge fan. You're going to know this name, the Footwork King, who's been promo as he, talked to Phil and I, and he's like, you got to watch this kid. You got to watch this kid. And speak about your process with Rashad and going down there and working with him. We have a clip here that we'll play while you're talking a little bit, or after you talk.
After.
We'll do it after you talk. But talk about your process there with the Footwork King.
Yeah, sounds good. I talked to Phil about this a couple of weeks ago. I met Rashad probably when I was middle school, maybe sixth grade, maybe fifth grade. I might have still been in grade school. He coached my older brother's 7-on-7 team when my older brother was in eighth grade, I believe. So we met Rashad then, and then he started training all sorts of kids in our area when we were young, middle school age up until high school, doing footwork drills and stuff like that with him before, we even really had any of the real football skills. And then I worked with him all throughout high school, off and on, every chance I could, and he just kind of helped me get ready for going to Notre Dame. And then when I'd come back, for break and things like that, I'd always try and go out there and see him. And then lately, these last couple of weeks since I've been home after the pro day, I've been working with him a bunch on, different sorts of route running, top of the route kind of stuff, releases, all sorts of stuff that a tight end needs to be able to get open in the passing game. So it's been awesome. He's such a positive dude. He's done really well for himself, been extremely successful with the guys he's worked with. And it's awesome seeing his business grow as well and all the people that he's gotten to work with all these NFL guys that have been so successful. So really happy for him and happy that I've gotten to work with him, become friends with him. He's an awesome guy, and I'm sure he'll continue to kind of grow on that exponential path with all these athletes and their success.
Brock, you got to hit at the NFL level, bro, because Rashad, when he comes on with us, he's got that fat head wall behind him with all the guys. So we need to see a Brock Wright fat head up there.
Brock Wright fat head.
Yeah.
Let me say this before we play the footage of Brock working out with Rashad.
Yeah.
Listen, Rashad goes like this. Phil, we keep it 100. That's the name of the show. This guy has all the talent in the world. Again, politics, game plan, I don't know. I'm not going to speak your truth for you. But the reality of being the number 2 tight end in the country, the reality of going to Notre Dame and playing under a coach that I'll say has had some issues in regards to picking favorites and playing certain players and putting them in positions and having that happen. And this is through my experience working and analyzing draft talent, Coach Kelly, whatever the case. I look at Brock and I see a 6'7". What do you weigh right now? 260?
Just under 260.
259. 6'7", 259, and he's moving so ridiculously athletic for his size and has great hands. But the thing that jumps out to me is the work that you're doing with Rashad, because when you're able to have your feet, we were watching, me and my father were with Berlissimo from across the pond watching offensive tackles this past weekend, and we were watching Elijah Vera Tucker, and his footwork isn't up to par. So he gets himself into trouble. Now he works his way through it because he's stronger up top. But when I watch you, you're able to freaking get your feet to the right spot. And as the chat room is buzzing, and Chris could put some of those comments up there, if it is undrafted route, that's not the end of the story, because your ability, and I have there's more Hall of Fame undrafted football players than there are first round picks in the Hall of Fame. Now, people are going to say, well, there's a hell of a lot more opportunities at the bat as an undrafted, but it's still a determining factor. No one determines who you're going to be. You decide. And I look at your talent, and this is more the statement for you than it is a question, because I really trust Rashad. I love him. And I look at you and just talking to you over the phone and then seeing your tape and the opportunities that you have. And then we watch this and you could see and you could put it together. Now, we've had guys that have played forever in college and going on to the NFL and they suck. Okay. That's the truth. That's the truth. They can't mentally, they can't do it, or physically they can't do it. So this guy, you have to tap into the determination of Brock Wright. And once you do that, I really believe your specialness will come out of you, because listen, I'm 5'7". I can never be 6'7". I never can. And I can't run like you. And now, maybe back then I did, but not now.
Don't let him fool you, Brock.
What did you run, Brock, in the 40? Let's see if we.
I ran a 4.6.
All right, I beat you by 0.4 of a second.
Okay,
that was moving. That was me back in the day. Slot receiver, 4.56 was my fastest ever. So I probably was a 4.6 guy.
That field at Hofstra was slanted.
No, actually, Brock, it was
38 yards.
It was the old turf.
The numbers were close.
Yep.
No, trust me, it wasn't. And I'm never 5'2". God, you guys were bad. 5'7". I was 160 pounds, 170 actually. Here is Brock Wright, though, for you stat scouts. Watch him in his drill. Watch.
There you go. Good. Up. Good. 3. 4. Good. Right there. Good.
1, 2, shoulders. Now, good. Now, good. Right there, right. Good grab, good grab, good grab. Now, good, now. Good, good. Shit, right there, money. Good, right. Now, so right. Good, now. Now, 1, 2. Good shit, right there. Good, smooth, good. Now, get 1, 1. Good, good, there, right there, money. Good, now, dip. Now, good. Go, get up. Good, good shit, right there, right. Good.
There you go. Brock working those routes. I gotta get
Gotta get him to break down Rashad as a quarterback.
Yeah,
he's slinging it pretty good.
I'm gonna bring Rashad to the Draft Dr. Phil quarterback school so he can.
Hey,
help.
Rashad only posts the videos of him throwing the good balls. Don't tell him I told you that.
I can hear. How much fire and passion does Rashad have? I mean, when he comes on the show with us, he's getting sweaty because he's getting so worked up talking about his guys. So what's it like to work with him, and how is that little facility, that little football field, he trains and gets the most out of these guys? Talk about it.
Yeah, he has more passion than anyone I've ever worked with, that's for sure. And I think that's why people like coming back to him. One, obviously, because he knows what he's doing, and he's had success with other guys before. But two, you just enjoy working out with him. You know, he loves the game. But you go in, we'll finish a workout, and he'll go into his phone and pull up his videos, and we'll be talking tight ends. And he'll say, you know, what tight end you want to watch? And he'll have videos of him going up to a TV, you know, during live games, just videoing routes, stuff like that, just catalogs of it through his phone. Just loves it, loves football, and loves helping people get better at it. And that's why it's fun working with him. You know, you enjoy it every second we're out there.
Brock, you talk about that. Are you watching a guy like, you know, Jimmy Graham, who's that, you know, that big tight end, you know, tall and lanky, and that can throw it up. He made some special plays in the red zone this year. I mean, he had a 2 or 3 one-handed catches. Name some of the guys that you are focusing on to try to pattern your game after.
Yeah, on my own a lot, I'll watch a lot of Vance McDonald. You know, he just retired, was with the Steelers, drafted by the 49ers, I believe. Yeah, Rice guys, go out. Go out. He's I think I have a pretty similar build and play style to him. So he's a guy I watch a lot. You know, he's a hard-nosed blocker, things of that nature. But then also, I mean, my favorite guy to watch is George Kittle. I mean, he's just a beast. They always manage to get him open somehow, get him the ball, and then what he does after he catches is what makes him a special player. And then, you know, he blocks hard too. Has a crazy motor. He's aggressive, and you can tell he loves playing the game too. So it's hard not to watch a guy like that and try and learn things, pick up things from someone of that caliber.
5th round pick he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. I think he had 28 receptions his last year at Iowa, something like that. So they didn't really get him the ball that much, but you can see how well he's done in the NFL.
Yeah, that's a guy that I totally wanted, but they took Adam Shayne.
Don't remind me. Don't get me started.
But then that's what I'm telling you. Like, your story has to be written based on the determination that you have. You have all the talent there. So now you got to obviously make believers out of people that are already going to have doubts because of what your production says on the stats. Now, scouts are going to definitely go and look at how you block, because in today's NFL, it's so specialized that you need those inline blockers too. So you can't like get yourself worked up. So how do you handle that stuff in working on your whole craft? Because there's a place for somebody that can block.
Oh yeah. And I think that's the strength of my game right now. You know, I did a lot of that at Notre Dame, a lot of the inline stuff. And that's something that's really appealing to these scouts and these different tight end coaches in the NFL, I think, because when you look at it across the college landscape, you know, the tight end position is growing, and it's always been growing, but there's still not that many teams that use them to the level that Notre Dame does. You know, it's kind of in that elite category of, you know, who's tight end you, things like that. We did a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. So I gotta really hone in on that craft and on the blocking there at Notre Dame. And then played with some great guys like Cole, obviously, and Durham Smythe. Did y'all lose me again?
Yeah, you bleeped out there just for a second.
Okay.
Back.
But yeah, just being at Notre Dame and that being a big part of the game for us was huge. And I know that's definitely going to help me at the next level because it's such an important thing, being able to get in there and help out in the run game, block those big defensive ends, who are normally the most athletic guys on the field. So that's definitely something that I'll bring with me and, I have in my pocket.
Brock, you talked about your situation and not really getting the opportunity to catch many footballs during your career. And you said that, that was something that was brought up to you, with all of your God-given physical gifts and how come you didn't have a more prominent role. But, I really look at that the other way, that really says a lot about Brock Wright as a player and as a hard worker, because you didn't get all of the opportunities that you wanted, but you didn't go out there and piss and moan and throw shit around. And you know what I mean? You just went out there and you showed up to work every day. And don't think that doesn't matter in NFL circles. They're going to ask you about that, but they know. Obviously, they're talking to everybody. They're talking to a guy like Rashad and see how hard you're working. So to me,
exactly.
Yeah, to me, it's really a testament to who you are as a person, and you talk about your dad and everything, the way that you were brought up in Texas football, man. It speaks a lot to me as somebody that loves this entire process and loves to break down tape of players along with Phil. So I'm going to give you a ton of respect there, man, for sticking to it and not going against the grain and just, not getting your way. So you're going to piss and moan about it. That's we need more people like Brock Wright. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's always been my goal as a player is just to help my teammates get better and help us win. I was talking to a coach earlier, our running backs coach and run game coordinator, Coach Taylor, used to always say stats are for losers. The only thing that matters is wins and losses. And so I really took that to heart when I was at Notre Dame. I never wanted to be a selfish guy who cared about myself. It was always team first, and we were winning football games, and I was helping out doing that, and that's all that mattered. So, it's the only stat that matters is the win category, right?
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your quarterback there. There's rumors around the league, obviously spreading as we get closer to the draft, that don't be surprised if Ian Book gets drafted higher than everyone's predicting. You played with this guy. Give us your thoughts on Ian Book. What is he as a leader? What is he as a quarterback? And really what you think about him going forward in the NFL?
Yeah, I've been asked this quite a bit lately. Everyone's kind of interested in Ian and what's going to end up happening with him. And I just keep telling people he's the ultimate competitor, We talked about it up before Pro Day when we were back in South Bend. Talked about it with him and his parents. He came to Notre Dame never really expecting much out of it. He had some great quarterbacks ahead of him, didn't know if he'd have the chance to start. And then once he got in there, he obviously became the winningest quarterback in Notre Dame history, which is no small feat. So, and that's all because of, his love for the game, his dedication and how much he puts into it, and you want a guy like that as your quarterback. You want a teammate like that. And, because of that, because of those traits he has, he will be successful. That's what helps someone be successful in the game of football.
Nice. You look at your offensive line there, you got a bunch of talent there coming into the league. I know our guy Berlissimo is very high on Eichenberg. Talk about those linemen that are coming in the draft.
Yeah, those are my guys. I lived with Tommy Kramer and Robert Hainsey for a couple of years. Those guys are my best friends, and of course Liam and Aaron Banks. man, I love those offensive linemen. All of them are extremely talented. My freshman year, we won the Joe Moore Award, our offensive line did, and that's when we had, Mike McGlinchey, Quentin Nelson, and then of course Sam Mustipher and Alex Bars, our Bears boys.
Yeah.
Hey, you played with them both. Did he freeze?
Yep, he froze up right there.
Damn.
Usually takes a couple of seconds. Now he's back, I think.
Yeah, sorry,
we got him back.
What was the last thing we were talking about? Sorry about
Sam Mustipher and Alex Bars. That's who.
Yeah.
Right.
So those guys, those guys obviously were incredible leaders for when we first got there. Me, Rob, and Aaron Banks came in together early. Liam and Tommy were a year older than us. They redshirted and then played with us all the way through. They got to learn from those guys, and then Coach Easton, who was there at the time, and they have amazing work ethic, and those are some of the best teammates that I've ever played with, hands down. And I expect all of them to do really well at the next level, just because of their love for the game and they're basically just the traits they had and that they learned from those guys. They're going to be successful, no doubt.
Brock, you talk about Sam and Alex, two undrafted guys that came here, and Sam really got his opportunity because of injury. He got in there and really surprised us with the amount of aggression and passion that he plays with on the field, and sometimes after the whistle. And the Bears need a little bit of that. For an undrafted guy to come here and really set the tone that way. There was a lot of times where if there was a little scuffle on the field, it was the undrafted free agent Sam Mustipher that was the first guy on the scene. So you have any good stories about him doing that at Notre Dame and just with that aggression and the passion that he plays with?
Nothing comes to mind, but Sam, I was talking to my dad the other day about Sam. He's one of my favorite teammates I've ever played with, was an awesome leader for us. And that's kind of that mentality that those offensive linemen have. If your QB is on the ground or one of your guys is on the ground, you're gonna go after them and help them up. And if there's someone standing over him, he's not going to be much longer. So you love to see that. You need tough, aggressive offensive linemen like that. I think to be a successful offense, and that's why I think those guys are doing well, and that's why they did well for the Bears this year. I love watching Sam and Alex in there. I was so happy for them, and hopefully we get to keep seeing that in the future.
You come out of high school in Texas, you walk on to Notre Dame. Everybody sees the movie Rudy, and if you're a football fan, at least you would see that movie. What is the feeling like for young Brock as he walks into Notre Dame? I mean, anybody could say, and Shayne could say this too, because he's a Bama fan, but the reality is,
sorry, man,
Notre Dame football. I mean, I can dun, 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 dun. I mean, I just hear, and even as a little kid, laying on the couch, dreaming of being a part of that game. What is it like for you as you come out of the tunnel, or just your first day there, seeing Touchdown Jesus? Talk about it.
It's special. I'll never forget the first time I saw the dome. When I visited campus the first time, you're kind of driving into South Bend and you see it above the trees, and I remember thinking, golly, that's special. And then 4 years later, we joke about it. Every time you see it, it never really gets old. It's kind of a different feeling when you get on the campus there. It's football heaven in a way. You got Jesus there looking over the stadium. It's neat. And when all the traditions there are fantastic, and here come the Irish whenever you run into the stadium, and then shipping up to Boston, everyone bouncing up and down before the kickoff. It's a really special deal. It's unique, I think, like none other.
One mother say, who's the best player that you've ever played with at Notre Dame on the team, not against? We can ask you that in a second, but you just walk onto the football. I had this moment. Did you have it? I was all state. I'm the shit. I got it in my head. I'm going to go out there and compete. Then all of a sudden I'm like, everybody's fucking good. And then you're like, that moment of like surreal moment of like, okay, I gotta work my ass off. Who was the player that you saw and was like, this is amazing. This is amazing athlete.
Quentin Nelson by far.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone, most people would say that. My freshman year, I remember, you know, those lines to run the same amount that the big skill and skill guys. Where'd I leave off?
We lost you your freshman year. Boom. And
okay, freshman year during workouts, I used to watch him. We would run, the offensive line would have to run the same amount as the big skill and skill. And he would sprint every single rep. He'd be beating all the offensive linemen. And I was like, man, this guy has a different motor. He's take it to a different level. And then you watch him, I mean, the success he's had already in the NFL is crazy. But that's a guy who was born for football. He's a different level of football player.
Wow. I'm glad I asked that question. You're the second guy that has brought up Quentin Nelson now. We had Naquan Jones at Michigan State, the best player he ever played against. He didn't even hesitate. Quentin Nelson, there you are. Yeah. What about going up against? Who was the best player you've ever faced off? I'm sorry, Shayne. Then
at Notre Dame on the team?
No, an opponent. Who was
collegiately?
Yeah, collegiately. You went against who was the best, and you like you hate him, but you respect the shit out of him now.
We play. I mean, I'd have to say just overall that Alabama defense we played this year, they were tough. You know, they were solid. Those guys up front, that defensive line was really good. And you look across the board at them and the athletes they have, that was a pretty special team. You know, and then a lot of people ask who's the best defensive guy you've gone up against. And, you know, Jeremiah Wusu-Kormoa comes to mind a lot, the Notre Dame guy going against him in practice all the time. You know, just a freaky, talented guy. You know, he played scout team our freshman year and would make the starting offensive lineman and tight end just kind of look silly sometimes. And you'd be like, man, this guy's going to be something special. And then you look up 4 years later and here he is going to be a, you know, early draft pick. So that's definitely a talented guy.
Brock, when like we're talking about this week and everything that comes with it, and you know we're rooting for you and hoping that you get drafted, but like if you end up going the UDFA route, how aware with your team and with your agent and everything there are you focused on situations within the NFL of, you know, depth charts at tight end, and is that something that you're very well versed in at this point, or are you just letting your agent handle all of that stuff? Are you even thinking about it? Can you speak on that?
Yeah, it's something that we've been looking at the last couple of weeks for sure, especially with the teams that show the most interest. You know, you go in and you look at where am I going to be the best fit, and it's probably a little bit easier for tight ends in most positions, just because you can see which offenses are tight end heavy and things like that, and how they use them. So that's definitely something we're looking at and getting a game plan together on in case that becomes the route I have to go. So because then that becomes the most important thing, you know, where am I going to have the best chance for success? So yeah, that's something I'm trying to get really well versed in right now.
So you know Cole needs a running mate, right, in Chicago?
That's what I've been hearing. Bear down, baby.
Look at the face on you there, that determination right there. You could just see that I'm getting up to the second level and I'm going to fucking destroy that strong safety that's sitting on the outside. Listen, pride in blocking is something that not many people have. And you look in the history of the NFL, there's very few that have done both the grunt work as well as the superstar running through that seam, catching that deep seam route, splitting those safeties like big Gronk over there. I know some people have referred to you as Gronk. This one's Gronk. Obviously, to even be mentioned as Gronk shows how good Gronk is. So your pride, you put your hand down in the dirt and you're ready to, go at somebody. What's your thought process in there? Are they teaching you the assignment on the front and you're knowing who you're going to block, or is this something communicated with you and you're just going after it? What's going on in your body, your mind at that moment when you're about to block?
Yeah. Obviously, you got to think about assignment and scheme.
Get that Texas internet.
Can you hear me?
Everybody from Texas always has this.
I know
internet.
people are commenting to Texas internet.
It's Lemuel Stinson, my boy.
Our Wi-Fi is not too great out here.
I don't know what it is, but go ahead, start it over. Your hands in the dirt. You know the assignment based on the scheme. The front tells you whoever the quarterback or the center is calling it out, or you just know your assignment. How do you attack that?
Yeah, I was saying before I cut out, obviously you're thinking assignment and scheme, right? Whether it's outside zone or mid zone or duo, you're talking with the tackle next to you. You're communicating, and so that's number one thing: communication, seeing what the defense is doing, and then I was saying that the aggression and the effort, that's stuff that comes more instinctually. So you got to bring that every play, and then little things like hands inside and running your feet, all that good stuff. But blocking is all about effort, and that's what helps you win on a block. You got to have that 100% effort each time.
This is why I love this guy, because his dad or his coach told you stats are for losers. Blocking is all about effort. Say it again. Blocking is all about effort. I've said that to my team. I say it to everybody. I don't give a shit what kind of athlete you are. You block to the whistle. I see some of these pros and they're getting paid. And I say this to every guest we have that's going into the league. You have the ability. Don't get to the league, get a job, and then say, okay, I've made it. No, you bust your ass working on that each and every day. I know someone needs to tell Charles Leno that, because he did get paid, and then all of a sudden decided, and we keep it 100 here, that blocking, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. But it comes off incredibly wrong. I see pride in it. I see that. Okay, put that fucking sticker on your helmet and say, I'm gonna block, as Berlissimo's saying, to the whistle. It starts exactly what my father said this weekend. Blocking begins after contact. So your story is so interesting. Shayne is 100% right. And I'll say this again to your mom and your dad, to raise a kid in a society that has so many kids. I'm going to just transfer. Yeah. I'm just going to go somewhere else because I'm not playing. I'm not getting the ball. I'm going to take my ball and go home. Right? You didn't do that. You stuck in there, even with the love and the passion for this game. How much do you love this game, Brock? How much does it mean to you?
I mean, it's my whole life. It's all I've ever wanted to do since I was a little kid. So, when people ask me if I love the game, hell yeah, I love the game. It's everything for me. So the fact that I'm finally at this level, I have a chance this weekend to, finally achieve my dream of getting a shot at the NFL is something that's pretty special. So, trying to enjoy every bit of it.
What are your plans for this weekend, Brock? Are you going to be surrounded by friends and family? What's the plan there?
Nothing big. I'm probably just going to be with my parents, hang out here in Cyprus, keeping it real low key, and then just waiting for some good news.
Yeah, we're excited for you. I was excited to have you join us tonight because I think your story is one, that needs to be told. I never want to push anybody. I always say I make people very nervous because I am Italian and I don't give two shits, I'll say, because maybe your mom's watching. I was going to say the F word, Brock. I'm not going to lie. I think he's frozen again. But I'll talk through that.
Either is frozen or he's really pissed off about what you said, Phil.
No,
there he is.
There
now
he
he's
is.
smiling.
He's smiling. This guy could be in Hollywood. You could be an actor. I'm serious. He's got this jawline for days. He's 6'7". He's got a Hollywood grin, that upward right grin. What was that like? You know, you're the number 2 tight end in the country, and all this minutia and hype going around you. How do you? Does your dad like pull you aside? How do you keep grounded in that?
None of that was really hard for me. You know, I always worked for that in high school. You know, growing up. So I don't think when all that came, I mean, none of it went to my head or anything. Obviously, it wasn't. I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that, to be honest. But it.
You just answered it. I could just see the answer is in your journey. To Shayne's point, you didn't say I'm bouncing. I'm going to go to Michigan State and show Notre Dame. I'm going to go Iowa and show I'm going to go here. You didn't do that. You went and you did what you did, and you did it well. And here you are in the impetus of the NFL draft. And it's got to be something special for you. Talk about this. You're eyeballing that linebacker. So you're gonna inside release, get on the backer. Who's that backer that you hated to go against other than your teammate as you look back in this league? Who was that one backer that you freaking hated and he brought it to you every time?
You mean at Notre Dame?
Not at Notre Dame. Who you played against? I know you give you a scouting report every week. Does the coach say to you, hey, this is who we're playing against, number whoever the inside backer is that you're going to be having to fucking focus on? Was there one guy that was like just a bully as you approached him, or you felt very you controlled these guys?
I don't think anyone ever, felt like a bully. I'd say there's one guy that I've kept up with throughout his career. That'd be Dylan Moses from Alabama. He's a special guy. After his injury, I don't know if things, went as well for him as they could have. After I don't know if his sophomore year, he had that great season, and there was a lot of hype surrounding him, and then, he got back to it after his recovery and everything, and still an awesome player. So that's just the first guy that comes to mind I think of. But I think he's a stud, and if he stays healthy, I think he could be a really good player.
So Brock, these next couple of questions are really going to shape your NFL future. So you have to take them super serious here. We're gonna.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Are you team Xbox or team PlayStation?
Here we go. This is
I'm an Xbox guy.
Yes,
Xbox guy. Yeah,
yes.
You're on Drago.
I played with my older brother growing up, and he was the decision maker when it came to that kind of stuff. So I'd be begging him for the controller, and he wouldn't let me have it. That kind of stuff. So we always played Xbox growing up.
All right. Are you Biggie or Tupac? Biggie or Tupac?
I'd say Biggie for sure. I had this conversation the other day.
That's 2 for 2 with me.
Yeah.
Now you're back on my team here.
All right.
Biggie Smalls.
Phil probably knows the answer to this. Are you team iPhone or team Android?
iPhone.
Yes.
3 for 3.
3 for 3 on the night. Now, Marvel or DC? Marvel or DC?
Are we talking recent movies, or are we talking overall?
Overall. Don't fuck this up, Brock.
I'd say overall DC, I think, has the better superhero.
I think he might be the first guy that's ever went DC, and
Really?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think
Well,
so.
that's because people are off this Marvel hype lately of all the movies are so much better than DC's movies.
Are you wearing
But,
an Aquaman T-shirt during draft weekend? Is that what you're saying?
I like Batman. Batman's the OG superhero, man.
Is Ben Affleck coming back as Batman, or is it somebody else that's going to be the new Batman? That's what I heard. Some rumors coming out. Ben might come back, but then who's the one in Batman Returns? Who was the actor? Who the hell was the actor? God,
For the new movie?
The old movie, Batman Returns, when he goes into he meets the karate instructor, Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Christian Bale might be returning as the Batman. And I liked him as the Batman in that movie and how he went back. But yeah, I'm a Marvel guy, Brock.
Yep, me too.
And I'm a PS4 guy, but PS5, I don't even have the 5. I can't afford the 5 like Shayne.
So I don't even know if you can get them.
Shayne buys himself one and his son one. Who does that?
Come on, man. That's how you raise kids now. You buy them video games, right? They're nice and quiet.
Buy the video game, but we all share it. Like,
yeah.
Shayne buys himself one, and then he buys his son one.
Come on, you know how it is when Brock will find this out when you have a family.
I know. I'm learning now.
You're gonna get yourself a room downstairs, and then everybody else can be upstairs. You can, tuck yourself away.
You got a little man cave. Huh?
Absolutely.
My sons are on there fighting over Fortnite now and skins and this. They're 7 years old, these twins, and that's what they're doing. So they're on in my bedroom playing and yelling and screaming and crying. Oh my God. Fighting over Fortnite. Are you a Fortnite guy?
No, I played when it came out. That was all the rage when we were at Notre Dame. And so we played a bit of it. And then, when Warzone came out, we played quite a bit. I actually played with Sam Mustipher and, those offensive linemen. Quinn Nelson would get on there, and Rob Hainsey, Tommy Kramer. So that was fun to keep in touch with those guys. Haven't played much of it lately, but definitely enjoyed getting on there and talking to those guys.
Now, are you working out down in Texas? Obviously with Rashad, but are you at a facility on top of that working on your game and your craft and the whole thing?
Yeah, I do all the position stuff with Rashad, and then I'll do conditioning and the weight training stuff on my own. We actually have this pretty awesome little gym we built during quarantine in a storage unit.
Yeah,
we call it Gym 416 because the storage unit is 416, and so me and my dad and brother-in-law put it together back when all the gyms were closed, and so it's only 5 minutes from the house. So I'll drive over there in the morning and open up the big garage door and get in there and have a little gritty workout. So it served its purpose. It's been nice to get back in there the last couple of weeks.
So we do have one more really important question for you, Brock. You're not an old guy like Phil and I are, so hopefully you've seen these movies. But best Rocky movie?
A lot of people would probably say 4, but I'm gonna go with 3. Clubber Lane. We used to watch that all the time, me and my brother growing up. So yeah, I'm saying number 3.
What's your prediction for the fight, Brock? Do you remember that line? What he says? Clubber?
No. What does he say?
Pain.
Come on, Creed.
Yeah.
Come on, Creed. Come on, Creed. Yeah. I'm like,
Man.
I was a little kid. I could still smell the popcorn. That's like my first, I remember everything about that night. And you're walking out of the fight and you're jabbing in your punch. And oh man, I just loved then I became a Mr. T fan after that movie. He was so good. Do you know the story of Mr. T, Brock? How he was a fucking bouncer, and Stallone heard about him, and then he saw him. He's like, why don't you come down and audition? And he blew everybody away with his audition. And listen, as a young kid, you hated him. He got you to hate him, and then you loved him. And then A-Team and the whole nine. But that was when I was a kid. Mr. T, I had his poster
It's Rocky 4, guys. Come on.
He's so
Rocky
he got
4.
me hyped. I love Brock. Love Brock. I know we've had you on for an hour. God, it flew by with you.
It did. It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. I don't even know how to end this because I don't want to let Brock go. I just want the best for you and your family. I got to meet your dad someday. I can already see the kind of guy he must be. Talk about your dad real quick. Is he the kind of dad that was tough love dad, or was he always that like Miyagi dad? Like he just had the right thing to say in the right moment.
Yeah, he was kind of like that. Me and my brother joke about it a lot. My dad was a football player. He played at Texas Tech back in the day, Southwest Conference guy. He's from Amarillo, West Texas guy. He ended up walking on at Texas Tech because they didn't have a scholarship for him. Earned a scholarship, became a captain, and became all Southwest Conference.
Awesome.
And that was all due to his discipline. To this day, most disciplined person I've ever met. And so he instilled that at us, when we were little. My older sister played volleyball at Texas Tech. My brother played football at Rice. And then, me going to Notre Dame and doing what I'm doing now. But it was always, always kind of looked to him as an example for everything. And he always helped us through that and made sure we stayed in line, out of trouble and everything. So he is kind of like that Miyagi guy. Always kind of knows what's best for you, even if you don't think it's the right choice at the time. And he's helped us be successful for it.
There he is, right there.
There he is. Yeah. How about that long hair, that flow I got going there?
There you go. You look like Justin Bieber for a second there. No, you don't.
I'll take it.
Look at this. I gotta tell your dad we're thinking of him, and your mom. Behind every great man, there's an even better woman, I say. And that's
No
the
doubt.
truth. I experience that with my wife every day, even though earlier tonight we were arguing a little bit because she had a tough day and so did I. And then we measure who had it tougher. And then we're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And everything is, it's like my best friend. But I just am so, my last thing, it's not even a question. It's just my commentary. I'm not going to rant. I'm going to say this. Every opportunity is lost when someone doesn't take it. So here's your opportunity. You're on the cusp of something that you determine your greatness at. I never had the opportunity, although as a kid, I just dreamed. I mean, I love the game so much. I eat it, breathe it, sleep it. And Shayne and I talked about this a long time. I know so many guys that I played with or knew growing up that were so fucking talented and did absolutely shit with it. They shit with it, but I see them now and they're like, I have so many regrets. So don't have any regrets, Brock. Don't have any regrets, Brock, because you're going to go out there. I don't care if you get drafted or undrafted, you get that opportunity and you make those coaches see, just like Mr. Miyagi. There's no, what did he say? There's no bad student. There's only a bad teacher. And sometimes when we get into situations where maybe the surrounding talent was better, maybe the coaches weren't quite equipped to understand how to use somebody. But I will tell you this. I see a talented 6'7", 259-pound, 4'6" running athlete that can catch the football and that his opportunity is coming. So take it, drop it on these guys, and really these fans, these crazy fans are going to be in your corner. The 100 crew. Where could anybody, they could follow you on Instagram? I know that because we follow each other.
Yeah.
Are you on Twitter? You have Twitter?
I'm not on Twitter.
Follow him on Instagram.
So,
Where can they find you on Instagram? Our producer will type it up on the bottom. Follow
it's at Brock J. Wright.
At Brock J. Wright. That's WRIGHT. For those of you listening on the podcast. Follow him. Let him know you saw him on the show and let him know what a great person he is. I can't thank you enough for jumping on. I wanted you on this show this week. Obviously, your story, there's so much more, I'm sure. But hopefully we have you back when you're on a team, even if it's hopefully not the Green Bay Packers, Brock.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, we'll let you know about that one.
Yeah.
But even if it was, we
Yeah,
got to have you back because you are a classy, unbelievably talented workaholic. And I want those people. Surround yourself with good people, right, Shayne?
That's right, man. That's what it's all about.
So Brock Wright, I'll text you that little intro I put together for you that the Tape Never Lies Network put together for you. I'll text you that so you can have that.
Awesome.
And we'll send you some swag, some merch. The millennials were correcting me at my house, my daughter's teenagers. I want some Tape Never Lies merch. I go, so do I. I don't get it for free. So I'm going to send you some merch though. So I'll text you, get your address, rock that, rock it, Brock, rock it.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. All the best.
Good luck, man. We're pulling for you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all. This was a blast. Thanks for having me on. Yeah. Thanks for all the kind words and everyone commenting over there. Really appreciate it.
Rocky 4. Check it out.
Rocky 3. He did a great job. And follow the Tape Never Lies, Brock, back because that's Shayne does the Instagram TT.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I just sent you. I just followed you on TTNL and Shayne Marsaw, same one. So
okay,
all good.
Sounds good,
thanks, bro.
All right, Brock.
Good evening, man.
Have a great.
Have a good one. Appreciate it.
Brock Wright.
What great stuff, man. Yeah, you gotta love the mentality. And listen, we've come.
Brocky won.
Yeah, we've come such a long way, Phil, with how we assess not just the guys in this draft, but I'm just talking about the older we get, we have the ability to look back and assess people, assess where we came from, how we were raised, how different people were raised. And when I see a guy like Brock, like I said to him, it's a testament to his family, the way that he was brought up. And like you said, it's the participation trophy life that so many people live in. Oh, I'm not getting my way at Notre Dame. Well, I'm going to bounce. I'll sit out. They don't even have to sit out the year now because they just passed that. But I'm going to go to, Penn State, or I'm going to this dude had every school in the SEC
every school
after him.
He's the number 2 prospect at tight end in the country.
But like I said, don't think for 1 minute. There's a lot of politics in college football. There's politics in the NFL.
That's why I said I didn't want to get him in trouble, but I got to keep it 100 for
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want him to have to feel like he was going to throw Coach Kelly under the bus or anything like that. I don't want to make a fucking news.
Oh, I do it all the time, Coach Kelly.
Sports mockery article tomorrow. Tight end Brock Wright calls Coach Kelly. Jim McMahon, what is that? 1252 they got a quote. So I don't want that for him. I want him to succeed.
No, but
I had to talk about it because the little fucking trolls are going to say, well, he only had 7 catches in college. So let's talk about that.
Oh, absolutely, man. But it's just to go back, man. It's all about, like in the intro, it's all about getting an opportunity. And, we like to think that we have a guy like that on our current roster in number 88, Riley Ridley, that for whatever reason, it's been so limited. And when he does get in there, he seems to make a play or two when he gets a chance. And a guy like Brock, and listen, I'll tell you something right now. When I'm very calculated in some of the questions that I ask, because you're looking for some insight. And if you go back and replay this and listen to the question that I asked him with how aware are you of current depth charts and tight end situations within the NFL, and you look at his face when I brought up Chicago and, that Cole Kmet needs a running mate. And when you're choosing a team as an undrafted free agent, that plays a big role.
He brought up Sam Mustafa,
Alex Bars,
Alex
and one of his boys, Cole Kmet. And listen, say whatever you want about Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham is here, but Jimmy Graham's also, he's very far into the back nine of his career. And are you telling me that this guy can't come in and make an impact on special teams and replace JP Holtz, who's on the roster?
Oh my God. It takes me 2 seconds to put a tape on of Brock and watch him attack JP versus JP Holtz effort. That's why I said, it's about right then and now. That's why I gave him that advice. And you can laugh all the fuck you want, but this world is absent of love and men saying, listen, I care about you. Like how Rashid Davis, Matt Waldman, Adam Rank, Kenneth Davis.
Yeah.
Go down these list of guests, David Kaplan coming on. We go away from these interviews, these discussions, and having laughs and fun. But I come away really appreciating and building a friendship and compassion for other men in a world full of fucking troll ass bitches. That's what we have. We have narrative writers, little participation award fathers and mothers, and we don't have enough fucking people that are standing up instead of filming shit, going and saying that ain't right. I'm going to do something about it because I'm a fucking father.
Yeah.
And the same thing on the football field with the Chicago Bears. It all correlates full circle back. There's a level of accountability you have to have with your kids, as Shayne and I were talking off the air. If you don't, then your kids are going to run the roost, and then you're going to fail. Same thing as a coach. Same thing with a stat manipulator. Look at, I fucking got so fired up. I had to do 20 minutes on Mac Jones, and I still have little fucking ugly ass trolls. How do you, I didn't fucking, I can't create this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we're in a world of such utter, let's just throw shit out there to see if it's going to click and not do the work.
Right.
Not do the work.
Yeah. And it's, listen, we set out on this venture, Phil. It's something that you and I have been talking about for years and years. And we broke away from where we were, started our own thing. And, you know, along with that
leave
comes
that comment up there. Go ahead, Sham. Sorry.
Yeah.
Keep finishing your thought.
No, I'm just saying, I think that there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of hatred and everything that comes with that because, you know, whatever, there was people that I don't think that did believe that you and I were going to make the jump and make this successful because, you know, maybe they didn't believe that we were the focal points of what made the wheels go round. And like I said, there's going to be haters out there no matter what. There's haters from every corner of the planet. Like I said, dude, I made my new @Shayne Marsaw Twitter account yesterday, and I had somebody that I haven't even talked to in 2 years block me. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's called the pussification.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
a troll.
Just I happened to be reading comments and it said, you can't read this. And I clicked on this. You've been blocked. And I see who it was. And I'm like, it says so much, you know,
oh my
thin skin pussy. He knows who he is. I'm sure he's listening in right now. And I'm sure
always listen because they have to copy.
Yeah. There's one thumbs down and I'm sure it's from little fat ass penguin boy. But anyways, we're, you know,
even Cherie is laughing.
Yeah.
Listen,
if I have my sunglasses on right now, I'd put them on.
Abdullah, all I got to say is this. You don't know shit. You know what's going to happen? I don't know. But I'm not going to say, don't get your hopes up. Don't say this. That's the wrong. the draft, especially with fucking pace, is a fucking, I'm anxious today. It's Monday. I'm anxious. What the fuck is this guy going to do? Is he going to take Kellen Mond at 20? Is he going to trade up? Well, God, please, San Fran, draft fucking Trey Lance and leave Mac Jones, and then we trade up, and then I'll fucking be crip walking live on the air right here. You'll see me crip walk right there. I'll be going fucking crazy out here in Connecticut because I know what I've done for fucking 40 years analyzing football players. When I see somebody that I believe in, I've got a pretty good ratio when it comes to that position and others. Everybody's going to get them wrong. Everybody's going to get them wrong.
Oh,
so,
yeah, they'll point out all our misses. They're not going to talk about the ones that we get right. But
yeah,
you remember back in 2013, that guy in the 7th round that you said it was going to be good?
Well, how about this? This is the funniest shit. I got to adjust. It's keeping it 100 on a Monday night. I'm starting. I'm getting ready for the draft. I'm shaking.
I'm trying to keep myself calm.
We got a draft fight night tomorrow, but I'm getting ready because I have people taking narratives. Here's my job. I'm speaking to you. I'm going to isolate on me, Shayne. It's not offensive. I'm speaking to you, the trolls. Trolls, to you, blog boys. My job as an analyst is to take a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if I look at good when it comes to whoever, Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky, Tashawn Gibson, Roquan Smith, and then I look at bads, and then I look at amazing things they do. That's all I do. That's my job, to point out the good, the bad, and the ugly. Then when I speak on things and I say, this is what I totally believe, and this is what you don't ignore that part. You don't look at the tape. Well, you said something positive and then run a narrative that I'm talking about Nick Foles like he's a fucking star when I said he'll lose to Mitch Trubisky in a quarterback competition. I even bet Cars and Shayne on that. But I'm praising Nick Foles. Come on. Let's not get this shit twisted. Let's keep it 100. Your job as an analyst is to look at everything. That's what we do here on this network. Shayne, we've broken down Davis Mills, me, you, Barlissimo on Draft Mob. We've broken down Kellen Mond, Kyle Trask. We've broken down Ellinger. We've broken down Mac Jones. We've broken down every quarterback in this draft. We've broken them down on the tape. And we've all come away with our rankings in regards to that. So there we are. There we are in our stances. I'm not changing my stance come draft day. I'm not. And I'm not going to go back in time. This will live here. And we'll be able to do just that. We'll be able to recognize. We won't get it deleted. They won't delete all the work we put in, right?
Not our stuff.
Sharia isn't going to go back and delete all our Tape Never Lies series for the year. So you can actually see it.
We got to keep our eye on her, though. You
never know.
She can get crazy.
We keep it 100 on the fucking tape. I don't give a shit about your PFF stat. I want Lauren Cox to come on here. He's my former colleague. I taught Lauren more about football than PFF ever would. And I'll say it to his face on the air. Maybe he'll admit it. Maybe he's afraid. I said, Shayne, ask him to come on. I want Brad PFF bias boy. I want these guys to come on and show. Let me see your personality talking to me about Charles Leno. Why are you running? I want to ask that question. Why are you running that narrative?
Yeah, that is the ultimate separator. I had a couple patrons reach out to me that were involved in the mock draft, and they're like, "Oh man, I fully prepared. I get on there, and then boom, you're not in the green room anymore and the lights are on and they're like, wow, I got like super nervous. And I'm like, yeah, that's a real fucking thing. You know, it happens. It's a process that you go through. Phil and I have done thousands of hours of this at this point, but it's something that you get through, and it's no different than nobody likes Peter Bukowski, and we had that whole thing. But Phil and I aren't going to invite Peter Bukowski on and not address the fucking issues with them head on, face to face. That's how we are. And some people will back down, and if they come back at us, we're gonna go right back on them. And it is what it is. It's what we're based on. And to Phil's credit, nobody puts in more work than Phil does and our team does to get this network to where we've brought it in this short amount of time. And like I said, I see somebody in the chat said that we are fueled off the hate, and it is. It's never going to dictate what we do or who we are, but we're never going to be afraid to face it head on and address it with you. We've had people that we've invited on. We've had patrons drop us because of, whatever reason. I'm not going to name names, and it's happened, and that's great. You have
I'll keep it 100. We've had patrons that didn't like the fact that I don't tolerate bigotry. I'll keep it 100. So I said, I don't need your fucking money. I don't. I'm sorry.
We gave it back.
We gave it back. You know why?
We gave the money back.
That's called keeping it 100. I'm not there's no axe here. There's no axe to grind. There's no fucking cherry picking, and there's no phoniness. This is who I am. In fact, people that have met me, like Pablo Jax or Sandy Tom, and they've listened to me for years, and he was so nervous, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then he meets me. He's like, Jesus Christ, it's like, oh my God, it's like the show. I'm living the show next to you, watching the game, and I'm speaking for him. But this is it. Jim Larison, same thing. My boy, I love him, and I just love people. But you're right. I hate just, and it's not your fault. I was just using Abdullah. I hate the someone going into the mic. It's never gonna happen. Thank you. Goodbye. No, that's not how this works. This game. That's not how the NFL draft works. It's not how football works. That's why I get so fired up. Hey, let's talk about power rankings in April.
Right. Yeah. Strength of schedule before the draft for free agency. Yeah.
Get the fuck. Do you even know what that is?
Just to tie up, put a ribbon on that part of it, Phil. Yeah. And we're not going to say the name, but Phil's right. We had somebody that took offense to Phil, saying that Phil got political and was talking about bigotry. And I'll tell you the exact way that we handled it. We have access to see who leaves our patron and whatever. There's absolutely legitimate reasons. We understand the environment that we live in. You can't say, every dollar counts with some people, but there's an exit questionnaire, and he specifically named Phil and the situation in politics and said that that's why he's leaving. So I read it. I keep up on most of all that stuff. So I reached out to Phil, and I'm like, dude, I just think I don't need this guy's money. I don't really even want to take the guy's money because of his stance towards what we were talking about. We refunded the money, and that was it. End of story. He's not able to access any of our stuff now. And that's like we said, we want to keep it 100 here with you guys. We're always working behind the scenes to make things better. Yeah.
That's exactly what I said.
Right.
There's no politics in reality of good versus bad. It's just not that. And I'll stand for that no matter what. As a coach, I don't tolerate it. I fired someone on my staff. That's it. I won't tolerate the reality of truth. There is good everywhere, no matter what color, no matter what religion. There's also bad in each of them. So there's no superior. That's the problem. So on this show, on this network. We've never asked. I ask you to subscribe. I ask you to like. I ask you to share. Be a friend, tell a friend, as Chris Jackal would say. But I don't ask for political opinions. I don't care who you voted for. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care what you think about marijuana or any of that. What I do care about is how you treat people, and that's the reality of the truth. And this great game, you need every player. The fat guy, you need the skinny guy, you need the athlete, you need the quarterback. You need
no penguins. Penguins can't play football.
And in this, to answer, let's talk a little, go back into draft.
Yeah, no,
I have no problem going up for Fields too. I'm just saying.
Right. I mean,
I want Mac Jones for what I showed
Alex
you
Sims
on our channel.
Thing here, and listen, Cherie and I were talking pre-show before Phil even came on, and she's on board with it too. To me, this is all about quarterback. This isn't about next year. You have to. You're at 20, and I'm sick and tired of it's always we'll wait. No, swing the fucking bat now. Go get your guy, and make it happen. I don't want to hear they gave it the old college try and you struck out. Go. They can make something happen. They can. They're going to have the ability to do that. Is it going to be expensive? Yes, it is. Well, you know what? Football is expensive. It's expensive being a fan for a mediocre fucking team for 102 years. That's, shitty each and every week. So you go up, and if it's I happen to think that it's a lock that Mac Jones is going number 3. Would I love Mac Jones on the team? 100%. I'd be over the moon about it. If they make the move for, just say it's Justin Fields, Vegas has put his draft slotting from 3.5 last week. Now it's at 8.5, which your Carolina we've talked about. I know Berlissimo's talked about it. The tipping point being Carolina. I still, for whatever reason, would not count out Detroit taking a quarterback and surprising people. But I think that the Bears have to be working the phones. They have to be. There's
to give this everything you got. As my father would say. Right?
As much as I love Tevin Jenkins and would love him on this line, he's
that's my boy.
He's a blip in the greater scheme. I think you go up and you make a move for a Justin Fields. I think it ignites the fan base immediately. I think it gives a Red Bull boost, gives the organization some fucking wings. It gives you belief. We all want to believe, right?
Yes.
We want to believe.
Got something to believe in.
Yeah, I think Allen Robinson sees that. I think that makes him happy. I think it gets Darnell Mooney juiced up.
The tell is this. Dalton, 1 year. That's the tell.
Yeah.
So now I want to believe against Shayne Cars and everybody else that these guys are on that short leash, that we have an owner that's win at all cost or else. But we don't have that. We have a fucking bullshit organization, George. George, you know this. You know that you've given over control to Ted Phillips. We saw it when you condescended and you gave your collaboration crew a joke, if you will, around the league. And this is something that was told to me many years ago that I didn't believe, and I told Shayne this. And it's still occurring today. So they have probably a longer leash than Draft myself wants to know, that wants to believe. So Shayne's right, and Cards is right about that. So now they have the opportunity to what? Publicly, perception is reality, right? They're going to try to move up, and they're trying to get their guy to give that perception of time. We need time. Andy's here. He's learning under Andy, and that's going to be their culture shield, if you will. That's going to be the thing. So it all makes sense in what it is they were going to do. How do you go about it? That doesn't stop me from the fight. That doesn't stop this network from the fight. That all that minutia and everything doesn't stop me from fucking calling it, showing it, screaming it, because eventually karma, just like it happened to Brawl, comes to those ignorant decisions, those selfish decisions that one might try to make. So that's the reality of where I stand in this. I believe in what Shayne's saying. They have to go up to get the young signal caller.
Ted,
they also showed their hand, Shayne, with the
seen
Russell
this
Wilson.
I've
Go
seen
ahead.
this pop up. Ted Phillips isn't nixing. If it's anybody, it's George McCaskey on that. I mean, Ted Phillips isn't making decisions in the draft or anything like that. Before the Bears had a GM, yes, he was involved in financial planning and stuff like that. And you gotta look at the wider scope here. Yes, has that come into play 20 years ago, 25 years ago? 100%. I think if a lot will factor in on George McCaskey. I happen to think that these guys are not on a short leash. And I think that if I happen to think that George, for right, wrong, or indifferent, believes that these guys can dig themselves out of their hole and they got to get it right at quarterback. And I think that they're going to give them every opportunity. Listen, you're telling me that they're not going to let them use future assets to go get a quarterback, but they offered 3 first-round draft picks for Russell Wilson?
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's the tell.
Yeah, that's the tell. And you can't tell me all right, so if you think that they are on a short leash, you tell me you own the Chicago Bears and you say that these guys are on a short leash. You tell me that your answer is Andy Dalton and Kellen Mond, Andy Dalton and Davis Mills, Andy Dalton and Kyle Trask. You tell me that that's the answer when you're on a short leash? No. They have to be big boys. They have to get up there and take a big boy swing. This isn't all about, listen, if the Bears have to give up assets to go get a quarterback, you gotta get that position right. I don't want to sit here and say you got to get the offensive line figured out first. Andy Dalton was sacked more in Dallas than Mitch Trubisky was last year in Chicago. Fact. Dallas Cowboys had the best offensive line in the NFL for a lot of years with Tony Romo. They couldn't win a playoff game. You need a viable quarterback, and Chicago has not had that. They've had ups and downs and mostly downs at quarterback. You make your move for a quarterback and you go up and get him, it's going to give you immediate relevancy. It's going to ignite the fan base. Like I said, it's going to make Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, it's going to give them a little boost, morale boost in the fans' eyes, in ownership's eyes. It's going to give them immediate relevance. You have a good bridge quarterback in Andy Dalton that can buy you some time. If it's Justin Fields, if it's Trey Lance, whomever it is, they have to be quarterback shopping. They have to be.
I got to say this. I've been in this game of football my whole life. I know a donkey from a fucking stallion. When it comes to the quarterback position, we've never had the stallion. We've never had that. So when I assess these quarterbacks, I'm happy with a bunch of the traits that each of them, Trevor Lawrence, I'm happy. I'm happy with Trey Lance. Happy.
Yeah, and right here, I'm
happy with the understanding.
Yeah, the factor put in there, Phil, and I think you and I are in agreement here. Listen, if the Bears move to 4 and I'm the GM, me, Shayne, calling the shots, I'm drafting Justin Fields at number 4.
And so am I. So I have 1A, 1B, Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence. That's what I have.
You can just say Jones, you can say 1 and 2. It's fine.
No.
Because we won't tell anybody.
Close. It's neck and neck. Each of them has something that I really like. But if I was to choose my team, I probably would take Mac Jones to lead me out onto the football field because this is what I see on the tape. And I haven't had the pleasure of sitting down with both of those guys. So that would be that's why it's 1A, 1B. I love both of their games, and I love the processing and the decision and the fundamentals and the over-the-top delivery. And then I listen to the ESPN on the way to work, and I listen to this show and a fucking podcast that Shayne sent me today. And it's the complete, yes. It's embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
It's embarrassingly bad. It's like nobody watches tape. They just regurgitate something, a piece of something.
Well,
stick it together.
You got to share it with them a little bit. We won't because listen, the podcast that we're talking about, the guy came on and was talking about these quarterbacks, and he goes, I'm really having a big debate right now. He goes, I really think that there's moments where I could put Kyle Trask ahead of Mac Jones. And he goes, I look at Mac Jones and he's Ken Dorsey. He's Gino Torretta. And I'm like, what? And he's like, what does Mac Jones do well? And listen, if you're going to sit down and do what we do and break down tape on Mac Jones and just even if you watch the games as a fucking fan, he's surrounded by talent 100%. So is Justin Fields. So is Trevor Lawrence. Just Chris, I got to give Chris Sims a lot of credit here. And it is true. A lot of these guys, you'll say, Mac Jones won a lot of games at Alabama. Well, so did Jacob Coker. He won a national championship. You're going to win a lot of games. The next quarterback's going to win a lot of games at Alabama. It's all about the mental side of the game here. You just listen to Justin Fields talk in any type of environment, in a post-game presser. The guy sounds like a 10-year veteran quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's not up there nervous. He's not worried about fucking TVs being shut off because they're talking negative. He's not flipping through fucking books. It's mental is such a big part of this game. And if you watch Mac Jones and tell me that this guy is not an elite processor of what you see in front of you on the football field, this guy came out and said that Mac Jones is no different at processing than Kellen Mond, than Davis Mills. He said that with a straight face. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
And this guy and these guys pay to or get paid to do that. And it's just troubling. It's troubling only because it's misinformation. Anybody worth a fucking ounce of football acumen could go over to our channel, watch my 23-minute breakdown of Mac Jones and come away. And some of the, to your credit, have admitted, holy fuck, you really changed my perspective on it. Because that's what we do with Khalil Mack. We did it with Charles Leno. Exactly. Nobody else is talking about Leno. We are. In fact, everybody and their brother would have thought we're fine we're fine. David Montgomery stinks if it wasn't for this motherfucking network. That's the fucking truth. I don't give a shit. You think. Yeah, I do. I don't think. I know. That's the difference. I'm not trying to fucking teach you how to raise your children. I'm not. I'm trying to teach you the game of football. And honestly, if I say it, I believe it. I'm not trying. I don't know Mac Jones. I don't.
Phil, we were told today of a big-time NFL media guy that it's not about truth. It's about what? I'm not going to put the guy on Front Street because we don't want to ruin that relationship, but it's about clicks, and that's not who we are. Listen, I'll be 100% honest here. I've said this to Phil, and you guys can disagree with me in the chat room. A lot of what people don't like about Mac Jones comes down to one thing and one thing only. That they look at him and they said, oh, he doesn't have Michael Vick type like escapability, so he's going to suck in the NFL. Are you watching Drew Brees? Are you watching Tom Brady? Are you
watching Phillip Rivers?
Do you have to win from the pocket? You know, we talked to Kenneth Davis about this. He's like, you got to be able, when the plays break down, you got to be athletic and be able to get out of the pocket. I said, well, then just go draft Mitch Trubisky then. He was free. That's who he is.
Exactly.
You need to be able to win from the fucking pocket, and Mac Jones will do that. We're not going to have – yeah, he's going to win. He's going number 3 San Francisco, man.
I hope he does it. I said put it in pen weeks ago that he's going 3 because Shanahan is going to come out of here and give everybody the finger unless they do what Alex H did in the patron mock and the Jets take Mac Jones, and then holy shit, but they'll do the right thing. You remember this guy, Tom Brady? You remember him? 6th round? Let me tell you, folks, people could try to rewrite history. From Mel Kiper talking about Jimmy Clausen's the biggest guarantee in a lifetime. He'll quit his job if he doesn't succeed. Well, he didn't quit his job. I love Mel Kiper. So I'm just keeping it real with everybody. This is the hardest position to scout, and I put my name to it. I put it on this channel. Subscribe to the network. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Set the bell. Ding the bell.
I totally disagree with that, Don. It was you couldn't keep him.
You couldn't. That relationship between coach and quarterback organization is dead. And to Mitch's credit, he hasn't gone out into public and said his real truths. I'm sure at some point that's going to come out. But the reality is there's just no way. We saw that's the organization. The coach threw Mitch under the bus, benched Mitch after that. So there's just no way. Then Mitch goes back and saves his job. Let's think about this. Seriously. If they had lost all those games, they're gone. There's no way they could have collaborated and said condescendingly to us fans and analysts, hey, we got out of that 6-game losing streak. I was so proud of those 3 wins, and we got into the playoff. If it wasn't for Mitch, they wouldn't have gotten there. That's the truth. I don't care who you like Mitch, don't like Mitch. I'm just telling you that's the truth. Mitch saved his job. How ironic. He's gone. You're here, and now you're getting more swings at the plate as a pace, the GM and the coach. It's sad.
And he also could have signed with any one of 31 other football teams. He was a free agent, and he signed a 1-year deal for $2.5 million because there wasn't a lot of teams not going. Yeah, as a backup, $2.5 million as a backup is nothing.
Exactly.
So it's
$2.5 million. How much does Nick Foles make as a backup?
A lot more than that. I mean, Chase Daniels is making more than that.
Chase Daniel made $8.9 million, almost $9 million to back up Mitch when he was here. So that's a perspective for you financially. Or you're going to say the cap or whatever, but the reality is we all know the story. Some people are so tired of it that the GM fucked up, but the GM still has the job. Now, everybody is going to be nervous, including myself, and how they see this, guys. Shane's most dreaded moment, and we'll end on this because we've gone long. Shane's most dreaded moment. If the 20th pick comes up, Shayne, what name is going to give you agita?
Well, it's gonna, if they get visions of grandeur and think that Kellen Mond is Colin Kaepernick, and they're just like, we're not gonna take a chance. Because listen, there's legitimate rumors out there right now. Listen, you can say whatever you want about an old guy like Gil Brandt. Gil Brandt just doesn't tweet shit out there to get likes and retweets and shit.
He's not the guy we're talking.
He's very blunt, and he will literally tell you things that are going to happen. And he told you today that they're going to set a record with 6 quarterbacks that go in the first round. And he didn't say Kellen Mond. He said Davis Mills. And where did you hear that before? You heard it here on this network the night that we were talking to Matt Waldman when I was talking to Cherie about possibilities that she could go with the New Orleans Saints, I said I think you got to look at Davis Mills there because it's teams.
Mills might be the Bears pick at 20. Someone's going to have to embrace that.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I would not want Mond at 20. I can swallow, based on my film study of Davis Mills, why they would do that. And it's not my pick. I would want an offensive tackle over Mills, but I'm not going to be shocked. We're going to be covering it, though, live here.
Oh, all right. Well, HL Priest, our guy here,
my boy, he's in.
The wrong one, yeah. HL put that there. Now, let's just say if this situation played out, if I had to pick between those two guys at number 20, I'm taking Kellen Mond all day long over Kyle Trask.
So am I. And why is that? Because of the high potential ceiling and athleticism. I know Chris Sims talks about
Phil and I would also do the Thelma and Louise fist bump, drive the fucking car off the kid. It's been real, bro. we would do that live on air.
Listen, we would. I am going to be so fired up that night and be nervous. I get nervous over my internet. I get nervous over the draft. I just want things to go smoothly.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to 5th round. I'll tell you that. He's going in round 2. And
what?
Yeah, he's going round 2, guys. Put this out there too for guys that haven't heard it. Jim Nagy is another guy that's locked into the league, knows people. He was on with Olin and all those guys. Like, I'm telling you right now, one quarterback available in the draft that NFL teams are much, much higher on than fans are, and this I'm not a fan, is Ian Book. And he's like, I'm telling you, Ian Book is not going to make it out of round 3. And if the Bears don't go quarterback early, that is a guy that they have been connected to. And it's if they draft him in round 3, whoo. Perfect timing for that. Yeah.
How about this, Shayne? This week, guys, the tape never lies.
Tape never lies.
The tape never lies.
Tape never lies.
The tape never lies.
Thinking the truth.
Never does.
Yo, the tape never lies.
It never does. The tape never lies. This week, all week, every night, we'll be live. Tomorrow, we are going to be live doing something different. We've done this in the past, like on the side, but I figured, well, let's take it to the stage. Let's take it to the ring. Rocky versus Drago.
He made you Sylvester Stallone because he's short.
Exactly. And who won that fight? That's all I got to say right now. The tape never lies. Tuesday night draft fight. Shayne versus Phil. We are going to pick 22 starters.
It's not a map. It's not a map. We're picking 22 starters from this draft.
From this draft. Any round that we think. We're just we're taking our guys, right? That's 8:30 East. Tooch forgot to tell you 7:30 Central. Tomorrow night, the fight begins. We're gonna have to have some drops, Shayne produce, some ding dings like Apollo and Rocky when he goes ding ding. I always love that scene. Drago verse, and we gotta have Steven fix your on this.
Yes,
I saw him earlier. We gotta fix this.
Well, I let him know he's gonna take care of it.
Yeah, we gotta fix that.
Yeah,
you're no longer at Wazram. You can find him at Shayne Marsaw. That's Shayne with a Y.
Yes.
N-E Marsaw.
Yeah.
On Twitter. Follow him. We're trying to get him more followers than Greg Braggs by next week.
Me. Poor Jake. Me.
So yes, tomorrow night, fight night, 22 draft picks. You guys in the chat are going to decide at the end which team would win and throughout the night. Yes, I'm eating my oatmeal parfait, my protein parfait tonight, getting ready for this fight tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how this goes. We're going to try to have a fair way to see who kicks off first pick. So
let's do it right now.
Well, there's no
before
game.
We end.
Is there a fair way?
Sure.
Cherie flipping a coin?
Cherie. You got a coin?
Oh boy, she's got to go in her purse.
She got dollar bills, y'all.
We know Jackal has no quarters.
Yeah.
He's been in the fucking vending machine at the hospital buying snacks. Our guy, we got to congratulate our guy, the newest father at TTNL, Chris Jackal. I know he's not on there, but I hope he
was for a little while.
He was. He just popped on the show. That was funny. He's like, oh, my bad.
There she is.
There they both are. Congratulations, Papa Jackal.
You're on mute, Cherie.
You got a son now, right?
Yes, sir. Number 3.
Third son. My 3 sons. That was a show in the 70s or 80s. So how's Mama doing? Good?
Mom's good. Yeah.
100 crew wanted to know how the family's doing. Everyone's good?
Yeah, Mom is good. Cannon's doing great. I just changed the diaper a minute ago, so that was a good time. That's why the camera was off.
Is it that yellow?
No, it switched to the yellow stuff. It's awesome.
The seedy yellow.
Better than the black tar, though.
There you go. Hey, it's better than the black tar. That's right. Oh,
appreciate the love, everybody out there, though. Thanks, guys and
congratulations, girls. Patrick Nakamura. He's moving up my favorites.
Yeah, the Vikings guy.
No, he is not.
No, he picked for the Vikings.
Oh, he did pick for. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. All right, Cherie, you have a coin. Well, yes. Is that a nickel?
Quarter.
It's a quarter. Look at that. It's a quarter, Shayne. I'm gonna let you call it, Shayne. Cherie, I trust you to be honest. Shayne, you could call it heads or tails, and then if you win, you get to pick. Obviously, go first or second. If I win, I get to pick. I mean, yes, you get it. Go ahead. I'm ready. Shayne, call it in the air, Shayne. You didn't call it.
You got a hand. Oh, boy, Sherry. Look at those hands. Packers are going to draft you.
I must break you.
There's our copyright infringement. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we need one.
Anyways, all right, yeah. Let's
tails
never fails.
He's calling tails. Flip it onto the back of your hand. What is it? Oh, there's a drop again.
God, she's sweating the coin sticking to her hands.
You got the Josh Bellamy of coin flippers.
Sorry. Lotion. I moisturize.
I moisturize. You sound like Greg.
You said tails, right?
Tails never fails.
Tails never fails.
Heads.
Number 1 pick.
So I am going to choose
a pasty.
Are we doing snaking it? So I'll get 2 picks if I go second, type of thing. Or are we going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2?
Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay, so I need strategy here. That's important because if I go 2, then I get 2 picks in a row. That would be smart. So I'm going to take the number 1 pick. I'm going to go first.
There you go.
So there you go. Tomorrow night, fight night. Look at Tooch. Shout out to my boy Tooch putting this. You'll see this on the promo all day tomorrow. Tuesday night. Look at my hair there. I look like Richie Valens.
I think you look like Underdog.
Underdog. La 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 bumba. You have the flat top and everything. So you look like I must break you. Tomorrow night, we are going to be doing that. Wednesday night is going to be a special show. Keeping it 100. Bunch of surprises and a mock draft with Cars. His first mock ever with us. We also might have a special Italian appearance. By his scooter driving Italian. You never know. Cherie
looks so excited.
And then on Thursday night, right there, time, we'll be live, keeping it 100, the draft show. Adam Rank, Steve Edwards, a former Chicago Bear, Steven Johnson, Roto Steve on Twitter. I probably fucked that up, but Steve, the voice, Cherie, the voice, right? Then your boy, Draft Doc, Shayne, the smartest man, Cars will be on. Zach Pearson from Bear Report, and David Kaplan from ESPN 1000 and NBC Sports. And there are going to be some other surprise guests that you're going to have to be tuning in to the coverage. And also,
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
he read my mind. Claudio will be in the Atoshan house for the draft live, sitting right here next to me. So he'll be
better load up on those Coke Zeros, boy.
Yeah, I better. He better bring a fucking case when he comes back. He always steals my Coke Zero.
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
So he'll be here, probably not smoking in my presence, right?
Maron.
We'll be live that night, draft night. Cherie, thank you so much for joining us tonight, producing behind the scenes, part of our new identity in this network, Shayne. Cherie Burnett, the lady GM, first lady GM ever.
You got your name right, Cherie.
Yeah, I practiced.
And we do have some more breaking news, Phil.
Do we?
We can give a little update here. Since Jackal didn't hook me up, the TT&L studios are.
Oh, look at this, Chris.
Mudded up.
What do you think of the mud technique, Chris? Is that good
That's
stuff?
just the first. That's just the first mud.
Oh, the first mud is the deepest.
Looking good, Shayne.
There you go.
He's got excellent get off. He's got excellent get off. And he get off. So he times his get off.
He's got a lot to get off. That's the truth. We're going to be covering the draft like nobody else. And then post-draft, we're going to be breaking down tape of these draft picks like nobody else, right? That's what we're going to be doing. Guys, thank you, Chris, jumping on, taking a father's break. It might have been a needed escape. You probably 100%. Put it on Shayne and Phil. Like,
yeah,
honey, they need me.
Come on. You might have hit the nail on the head on that one.
Well, I'm glad you're here because we did need you tonight. You guys were great in the background. You guys in the chat, cheer. Let Brock know that you're here for him. Do that. He's already texted me how much fucking fun he had on the show.
He followed me on Instagram and
he's a man of his word.
Wrote a nice, totally stoked. Loved it. Thanked us. Thanked the whole crew. All the fans, and just like I said, great dude.
Look at Logan Frost. He's taking our job here. He's taking out. We're not going to have shout outs tonight. We are going to end with the Blog Boys song because we wrote off into the fucking sunset dealing with these mugs. That's how we do from the great state of Illinois, from Chi-Town. This guy right here, Rashad Kennedy. Cool Kennedy, the producer. I got him working on a new song that's about this network. That's all I'm going to say. It's about this network. Maybe everybody's going to be involved in the song.
I know about it.
You might have a Cherie lyric. Holy shit, Cherie.
All right. It's Cherie and Angelo are singing Emity and Ivory. It's going to be a love ballad. It's going to be great. We will be debuting it on day 3 of the draft. So stay tuned.
Tomorrow night, fight night. Don't forget. Let us know. Be in there. Be on whatever team. I'm not going to be biased. Have fun. Follow Shayne at his new Twitter at Shayne Marsaw. That's with a Y-N-E.
Shayne will. Yep.
Yeah. So SHAYNE Marsaw. MARSAW. Follow him on Twitter. Let's get his followers up. Also, subscribe and like, guys. Hit that like button. Chris, what do we say?
Be a friend and tell a friend.
There you go.
There it is.
Be a friend, tell a friend.
How he met his first wife. It worked.
Second, third, and soon to be fourth.
All right, guys. Have a great night. I thank Brock Wright and his family for him coming on tonight. Monday night here at TTNL. Go get your swag on. And you blog boys, fuck you. Real quick. David Montgomery, because a lot of these blog boys, these fucking stat trolls, you'll see the fucking blog boys talking about this.
Blog boys and haters. Trolls on Twitter, called manipulators. Oh yeah. Blog boys and haters. Trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah. Take it to the level that most never thought of. This crazy world, people treat a keyboard like a sword off. Narrative crusher, so many demons that I'm fought off. Take never lies, blog boys get fucking caught. PFS with the fishes, but they still gonna troll. Putting Warrants on top, make them look like an asshole. Nagy calling plays with no clue on personnel. Running toss a CP, short side behind Leno. These dudes on that block like J-Lo. Montgomery is elite, cause DDP says so. Front office nightmare like the haunted of Hill House. Blog boys get to step in and take your boy Mill out. Blog boys and haters. Trolls on Twitter, fraud manipulators. Oh yeah. Blog boys and haters. Trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah.
Word. Blog boys changing stats like report cards. No PFF, straight F's on no scorecard. You gotta have heart to play. A little soul like Marvin Gaye goes a long way. Throw the strong fade at an out route. Power, I see the end zone. I hope Maggie takes a smart route. It gives a play calls like McCaskey money. Blog boys and haters talking, but they stats is funny. The tape never lies. Think it's when you get smacked with honey and get swept like the tight end on 4th and 1 tries. We big time. You small fries, Twitter fingers typing for the clout. They never trend, they all cry.
Blog boys and haters. Trolls on Twitter, fraud manipulators. Oh yeah. Blog boys and haters. Trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah. Blog boys and haters. Trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah. Blog boys. Yeah. Come on. Feeling it, cool Kennedy. Trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah. Blog boys, blog boy. Trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah. Blog boy, and haters. Blog boy, TTNL Twitter, snap manipulators. Blog boy.
Blog boys get fucking caught off. TTNL. Always speaking the truth. The tape never lies.